Hey, what's going on, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and I help people navigate through their awakening process. Today, I'm going to share with you five important, exciting things I think you should know about this upcoming new moon we have here on August 8th, 2021. Number one, a lot of you might be feeling this energy a lot in your body, in your emotions, in your life. And that's because a lot of us are going through like a recalibration. There's a major upgrade to your vibrational frequency happening right now. Not too dissimilar than getting a new software update on your phone, which of course initially requires you power down the phone. No more excitement, no more action, stepping back, taking a pause. The download happens pretty quickly, and then you fire your phone back up and you got new features. It's faster, there's less bugs, less resistance in the system. And that's what's happening to you. The only problem is it's not as simple as upgrading your phone. We feel this in more of a prolonged way. So us powering down is a sense temporarily becoming somewhat disconnected from our intuition to an extent. And that can cause us to feel kind of lost, kind of vulnerable in reality, in our lives. And simultaneously, there are other key symptoms of this. Number one is you feel it in your body. Like, for example, the other day I almost thought I was sick. I felt like you feel when you have a cold, when you're a little bit you don't have your same gusto. I felt kind of tired and run down, but no, I didn't have a cold. There were no symptoms, but that's kind of an example of feeling it in your body. You might just feel a little worn out for no real obvious reason. And most notably, you might feel this in your emotional body. Your emotions will be much more up at the surface, much more potent. And oftentimes, it's also like an emotional purification process. You might have powerful waves of emotion coming up, running through your system that seem to have no bearing in your life, like doubt or concern or worry or sadness. Grief. Maybe you're grieving the closing of a chapter, and you're feeling it. You're so empathic. You're so opened up now that as we shift through an ordinary human life, no longer are the emotional processes sort of unconscious. They're very real to us. Okay, so the point is you might feel emotional, you might feel tired, you might feel like life is kind of standing still, like nothing's moving forward, and your intuition took a freaking vacation. What's happening? Well, you're powering down the system so that a much upgraded system can come back online. And this is something you don't have to do anything for. This is something that we just go through sometimes as we shift into these huge gateways like we have here with the new moon, with the Lion's Gate energy especially. So it's about just being patient and riding it out. And before you know it, what you're going to notice, my friend, is you'll start getting that spark of passion, that spirit, excitement, and optimism. And clarity is going to come back online. You're going to start feeling enthusiastic and optimistic about your future. You'll start to see how things are going to be clicking into place. And as this happens, your body will be soaring with energy once again. You'll be feeling more youthful, more vital, more like you're firing on all cylinders. All those heavy emotions that you're purging are going to be, you'll be finding balance with them. So you get to go forth for the remainder of August feeling balanced, tapped in, a lot to look forward to. So it's a recalibration. Number two, I wrote down something that seems a bit unusual: building your rocket ship. What I mean by that is right now is a fantastic time to go all in with building up the foundation of this next chapter of your life. This could be with your career, this could be with your living situation, this could be with just you in some way upgrading your life circumstance in whatever seems prevalent to you at this time. During these types of cycles, it can feel, and it can certainly really seem logically like we're overextending ourselves. We're putting way too much energy, way too much time, way too much money maybe into something that hasn't yet bared any fruit whatsoever. We're doing it on intuition. We're doing it because we have this sense that this is going to work out. This is like part of this all resonates. It's part of where I'm going in my life. But man, the bank account's getting low. The credit card's getting high. I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm sort of neglecting maybe other areas of my life to put all this energy and focus and time into this thing that has yet to yield any type of result whatsoever. However, my friends, this is how accelerated manifestation tends to work. Your spirit will guide your choices. And if you can just simply trust your spirit and really allow that energy, that passion, that intuition, those hunches to propel your day-to-day actions, then when what you create is from spirit, from your authenticity, that's when things just spill into your life rather quickly, and abundance can flow in. Projects can go way better than you could have even fathomed because you're working on a different frequency. So now's the time to go all in and to trust the process, my friend. It's like my friend, I have a good buddy named Steven Jaggers. He's an amazing breathwork coach, and for a while he's been doing these in-person breathwork certification trainings, and there's such a demand. I went through his course, by the way. It's awesome, but there's such a demand. He's creating this online program, and involved in the creation of this thing, I was just talking to him, it involves a lot. He's got to hire lawyers. He's got to protect his content. He's got to build out this very in-depth course. And he's just putting a lot of energy, a lot of focus into it, a lot of money into it, but nothing has he hasn't received anything from it. But he's doing it because right now he can feel it. He can feel this is the next step in his personal life, in his evolution. This project is, in a sense, sanctioned and backed and supported by spirit, by the flow of the universe. And it's a time to really, he knows, it's a time to really go all in and put his energy into it as much as he can, because it's gonna come back to him in dividends. So hopefully that is relatable in some way in your own life. It doesn't have to be career, it could be anything. Number 3, you might have noticed the irritation energy on the planet. People, just regular people you come across in your day-to-day experiences might seem like they're more on edge, like they're just more tense, they're more discontent, they're more aware of how their own lives aren't where they want them to be. But most normal people, like most people, aside from you folks, they're not aware that there's a massive change in vibration sweeping the planet. That they're not aware that they're going through, whether they're aware of it or not, an expansion of consciousness, a realigning of their life situation so it's more in harmony with who they really are. All they're doing is feeling the dissonance between the spirit coming on board within their system and their pre-existing life circumstance that's not at all a match. And the collective is feeling this. There's like this pulse of dissonant, tense, irritation energy. And my invitation for you, my friend, because it's happening to me as well. In fact, just the other day, I was pulling into a parking lot, and to my right was a stop sign, and this person just sort of blew through the stop sign, and they just sort of cut me off, basically. But as they cut me off, they didn't. They looked at me with this pissed off look, and they threw up their hands, and it was kind of like this expelling of "screw you" energy right at me. I just drove right into it. It was their fault. Anyway, the point was, it was, it's like I felt like I needed some sage to like cleanse my aura after that unexpected run-in with someone's ego. And I got ticked off. But what I try to do, my friend, and this is my invitation to you, is as best I can, and I know it's not easy, but have patience for people. Because you and I are going through this in our own way. You might be lashing out a bit more often as well. But we're aware of the context in which it's taking place. We're aware that this is just a process we're going through that's leading to a better and better and better life here on planet Earth. So there's a sense of faith and optimism and trust and just going with the flow as best we can, where most people, they don't have that faith. They don't have that awareness of what's taking place. All they know is they're just reacting to their feelings. So as best you can, it's wise to have compassion for them and patience with them, and try not to get sucked into that type of ego drama. Leading into number 4, it's a great time to really speak up and to not be so timid in expressing what's really on your mind. Are you satisfied with this circumstance, with this relationship, with this career, with this situation? If not, you might find yourself also more quick to voice it. It's a time of really speaking your truth and speaking up and setting boundaries if need be. But the invitation here as well is to do it with politeness, because that same irritation energy is also going to be affecting you most likely. Maybe it already is. And it's not good or bad. It's just a type of energy, and you can channel it in a beneficial way. You can see it as an opportunity to push through maybe some of your apprehensions and blocks. And a lot of us, we don't speak up when we're upset. We're quick to say, yes, I'll help you move, knowing that we're already having a lot of things on our plate. We don't want to help the friend move. So it's a good time to be like, no, I don't want to help you move. I got this going on. But it's also just, I think, polite to do it with a little bit of kindness. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Number 5, finding ease, flow, and abundance by trusting the simplicity of spirit. It reminds me of this popular book called Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawking. And it's a principle where if we can make sure our actions are aligned, are inspired, if you will, are backed by our authenticity, then it won't take as much action to really start moving the needles in your life. Making big life changes will come from maybe a few wise, calculated decisions made at the precise timing. And you're already probably getting a taste of your own power, your power, your ability to manifest things in your life. And as these manifestations start to become a bit more accelerated, which they already are, both positive and negative, it's also common to become like the commentator of it and to get caught up in the speed, to get caught up in the details. Right now, you might feel like you keep getting bogged down into like your mind and your mind's narrative about all the different things going on in your life. And this sort of heady type of state of being can pinch you off from that simplicity, from the patiently waiting until it's the right time to act. And when you do, it's like whoosh, and then you come back and you chill and you do it again. But it's a challenge. But right now, those who can stay meditative, stay grounded in your own source, your own beingness, the right actions at the right time will be obvious, they'll be clear, and they will yield very big results in you improving your life here on earth in a very physical way. More time, more money, more health, more abundance, more love, all the things that really most of us, if we're honest, are concerned with. It's a time where you can really start to, in a sense, like become very successful in functioning within the 3D paradigm we're in right now. And the way to really succeed on all levels is, again, it's like to make sure your actions are backed by your own authenticity. And luckily, there'll be a great deal of clarity around what does resonate with you right now, what does feel right and light and exciting and evoke passion. Those things in your life will be more easy to spot and detect than ever. And simultaneously, the things in your life that are kind of like creating the dissonance and the distraction and the confusion and the heaviness in your life, they'll be very apparent as well. Okay? So it's a great time to really manifest big things in your life if you can keep it grounded in spirit and rooted in your heart. And finally, bullet point number 6, if you will, perhaps the most important, is to just go where the river of life is taking you. Sounds easy, but right now, a lot of us are basically going through these different chapters, these different themes, cycles of a human life faster than usual. And it can be very common when you feel that river speeding up to look back and say, I'm not ready to go. As just a quick example from my own life, is I'm noticing myself waking up to a lot of sadness. My children are getting older so quickly, and I'm realizing the ages they were at when they were like really just daddy's little companion, following me around like a puppy and just always interested. They're starting to become more autonomous, more independent, and it's beautiful. It's part of this cycle of life, but there's this sadness. There's this, man, this missing of how it used to be. I've also been having dreams of like my high school friends from 15, 20 years ago and thinking back like, man, those are awesome. I wonder how those guys are doing. Man, it's so sad that those times in my life are over. The river is going, and we're on this boat flying forward into a new, big, maybe several new chapters in our life. And anyway, for me, I was caught up in this sadness, in this like, man, what do I do? Why do I feel like this? And then I saw this thing, I don't remember where, I think it was like in a book I was reading, and it just said something like, go with the flow, or let the river flow, or something, and it just clicked with me. And I realized that's like the cycles of life. This all reminds me a lot of my friend Forrest's old grandpa. Forrest told me he's from the South. He has a real big family, and he said they'd always have these big family gatherings where they'd all gather around a big dinner table. And Grandpa would sit at the head of the table, and everyone looked at him with such reverence and respect and like intrigue, because Grandpa was a badass. Grandpa told these awesome stories, and he would just captivate in his old age the whole family. And as he was talking about his grandpa, it made me realize that, man, it seemed like I look forward to that. I think that would be cool, to be the old person at the table, you know, dropping bombs of seeds of wisdom and sharing things I've learned throughout my life. That's a beautiful, unique, cool facet of life that we have to look forward to. Even at the old age, we're rocking things out. And what I'm realizing is every stage of life is unique. Every stage of life is beautiful. And if we cling to the past, it prevents us from experiencing the future, the new, the now, and all the cool stuff it has to offer. So I'm doing the best I can to let go, let the river take me through these different stages of life. And of course, allow myself to process emotionally the grieving and the sadness and just the different emotions that come up on their own as I progress as an emotional creature through these stages of life. But I'm doing so with confidence that I know that as I pass by something that I loved, there'll be something really cool to replace it, as there always is. And I can trust the general benevolent flow of life. Anyways, my friends, I have taken a great deal of peace from this idea and from my friend's story. Hopefully you can as well if you relate. With that said, you have an amazing day, my friend. Have an amazing new moon experience. I wish you well. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for all the beautiful messages you send and share with me. Thank you so much. Much love. Peace.